Welcome back guys to day 10 of the Beer 52 reveal and review video. Just quickly before we get started, there we go, there's the Christmas attire today, but also got a couple of sort of little helpers in the room today. If I can just tilt the camera, and I've got some company today in the room. The two cats having a bit of a sleep on the cushions, so hopefully they're not going to get up and get in the way. I can't imagine it, they're having a good snooze. So yeah, day 10, let's crack on with the reveal and review video. The last couple of days have turned out to be quite decent, so hopefully day 10, nearly halfway through as well, will be another decent one. So let's get it cracked and see what we get. Let's get it open. It's another small one. So I've had one big one out of this box so far. And the beer we are looking at, oh god, a Session IPA. It's from, who's this from? It's from Freedom Brewery. I believe they're out of Derby that way. And we've got a can of their Wanderluster. There we go, I don't know if you can see that. It's a Session IPA coming in at 3.4% ABV. I've got a feeling straight away this is going to be shit. I'm going to try and be unbiased and be fair on the beer though. So let's stop talking and go and get it reviewed. Right, in the beer review room, as you know, Wanderluster Session IPA from Freedom Brewery. Like I say, I think they're out of Derby way. Let me just try and find, or Derbyshire, something like that. I can't see nothing on there. I can, but I can't read it, put it that way. Staffordshire, is it? I don't know. Freedom Brewery, Staffordshire. That's it, yeah, Staffordshire. Anyway, I think I've only ever had their lager. Had that on tap many moons ago, and it was actually quite nice, a nice ice cold one on a hot day. But I don't think I've had anything else of theirs. I really am hoping this is going to be decent, but I'm not holding too much hope out. But I will try and be fair with it. So let's get it cracked open. Hope you're all good. Has been chilled slightly. So let's get it in the glass and see what we get. I'm expecting something very light. I'm not expecting it to have much of a malty note. I'm expecting it to be thin, which is maybe a little bit harsh, but it's looking quite light as I pour it. But 3.4%, you've got to expect a light beer for that. It's a beer in a glass. There is a slight haziness to it. It's maybe a little bit darker than I was expecting. So maybe we have got a decent amount of malt in it or something. Just about a finger of head there, but nothing too inspiring. The glass was a little bit wet. There's no carbonation going up, so I'm not sure if it's just the wetness. There is the odd bubble saying that. But yeah, looks a little bit drab, doesn't it there? But let's dive in with the nose, see what we get. Let's not pick on this beer yet. Okay. I did have a look at the can before, and it didn't say anything about the hops in it. It's got... trying to think, there's a smell in there. Almost got a sweet smell. Maybe a little peachy note, I'm going to say. A little bit peachy. Maybe a little sweet malty note. Other than that, I can't really say I'm picking a lot out of it. It smells... shit, spilt it. I always spill it when I give it a swirl. A little bit of a sweet malty note and a little bit peachy. That is about it on the nose. So now I've spilt it all, I'm going to give it a top up. And we'll see what we get. I'm going to try and be fair with this one. I don't think it's going to be the greatest beer, but I'm going to try and be fair and review it for what it is. So here we go. Wanderlust from Freedom Brewery, Session IPA, 3.4%. Let's dive in. What's it saying? Light and balanced Session IPA. I can't read that. I've got no chance of reading that. Right. Surprisingly, and I am surprised, this has a surprisingly good body for 3.4%. It really does. This could easily get away with being low fours. Honestly, it really does. It has got a bit of a decent body to it. It feels a bit traditional, feels malty. Carbonation, yeah, it is busy. Bubbles are small. Doesn't roughen up the beer too much, it's got to be said. And it is quite smooth. And at this moment in time, I'm not feeling like there's any wateriness. Now for me, this is maybe where it all starts going wrong. But for me, the flavours don't sit right for me. Maybe that's just my own personal taste. It has a traditional feel in the taste. It's got a good malty backbone to it. That has got to be said. And that is probably adding to this body. For me, the flavours in it though, don't quite do it for me. I think you do get that peachiness. I also think you get that orange bitterness. But the bitterness to this beer isn't the most pleasant of bitternesses, if that makes any sense. I've said that many times. Sometimes a bitterness in a beer can be a really nice bitterness, and sometimes I find it a little bit harsh and a little bit rough around the edges. And this is giving me that sort of bitter finish. That said, that could just be my tastes. Bit of a tropical note. Yeah, it's just there, that bitterness on the back end. It's almost a little bit, like I say, rough, a little bit nasty maybe. There's maybe a little bit of a perfumed sort of feel in this beer as well. 3.4%. I'll probably say actually it drinks heavier than that. The flavours aren't necessarily to my liking, but they are bold. The body is very decent for 3.4%. But it just has that, a little bit of a nasty taste there for me, and whether it's just that bitterness, I'm not sure, or just the flavours in the beer. I think they've actually, believe it or not, pulled this off in 90% of the beer. Like I say, the body's very decent, the carbonation's not too much. I'm glad they've made this quite malty. Otherwise, this beer would have been absolutely pissy thin. It would have been like tap water. I know it would have. But some of the flavours in there just aren't doing it for me. Now, I'm not a big fan of peaches or anything. So for me, picking up this little peachy thing going on doesn't do it for me. I've also said in many other videos that sometimes when I get like an orange bitterness, that doesn't sit with me either. So there are bits in this beer that just don't sit with me personally. But I've got to say, although I'm not really keen on this one, I think they have done a good job of brewing this beer. And credit where it's due. A 3.4% beer with quite bold flavours in there and a decent body is something, you know, they should be proud of. So even though this one don't do it for me, I think they've done a good job. Would I recommend it? Well, I can't recommend it to myself because it's not for me, but this might be something other people like. I think they've done all they can with what they're trying to do with this beer. So yeah, I'll give it a thumbs up because they've done what they needed to do. So if you've had this beer before, let me know your thoughts on it. If you're waiting to have this beer whilst watching this, or you're going to watch this video and have it after, I hope you enjoy it, and let me know your thoughts when you have had it. So that's it for this video. Slightly downhill for me from the last couple of beers, but they've done all right with this one. So hope you've enjoyed the video. Like I say, thanks for watching, and I will see you for day 11. Cheers.